Hello, heathens. So I assume you saw the shitstorm that was the final 2016 presidential debate.
He has consistently denied what is
Wrong.
a very
That he
clear
was for
fact. The invasion of Iraq.
Wrong.
And you can ask for some
Chris, we don't gain anything.
He has all the
Iran is taking over Iran.
which he's been
We would have
spewing
gained
out
if they did it by
for
surprise.
quite some
Wait,
time.
stay.
It's unfit, and he proves it every time
You
he
are the
talks.
one that's unfit.
Jesus Christ.
Hello.
I am Dr. Magnifishit. Hello, heathens. Today I'd also like to say hello, Christians. Since we're going to be joining via satellite direct from heaven, Jesus Christ himself. He's going to tell us his thoughts on the presidential candidates. You know, the two most hated candidates in history? For many people, it seems we just have two bad options for president. An elitist robot or a sociopathic jack-o'-lantern. Unless you count the third-party candidate, Gary Johnson, then we also have a stoner from Mars. Before we go live to the Son of God himself, I'm going to very quickly put in my 2 cents about the party system and voting. I always try to remain as unbiased as possible when I vote. I'm registered as unaffiliated with the party because I think the party system is a joke. It often feels like alcoholics versus potheads. Too many people vote strictly for their party and go to great and ridiculous lengths to justify the stupid shit their party's candidates do and say. If there were no parties, we'd be forced to have to listen to the candidates and make a more unbiased decision. Recently in history, in fact for most of the 1900s, there were actually liberal Republicans and conservative Democrats, and they crossed the aisles to work together and help come up with a better system and better plans. Even further back in the earlier days of the good old US of A, we had different parties altogether, and a slightly different election process. Our 2 main parties were the Federalist Party and the Democratic Republicans. The winning candidate would of course become the president, but the nominee who came in second would become the vice president. The concept behind this was to create a more balanced and fair government for everyone. If our president and vice president were different parties, we would definitely be more united. Getting parties to work together right now is like getting an actual elephant and donkey to fuck. Imagine a world where candidates didn't belong to a party. A world where we were voting solely on the candidate's intellect and accomplishments. I'm not saying I have the best idea, but it's something important to think about, especially when we live in a country with over 300 million people. And the 2 candidates we have to choose from are Donald and Hillary. There's no way these are our 2 best people in the entire country out of 300 million people for the job. Unfortunately, these are our only 2 options right now. Well, I'm done ranting. Let's go live to the Savior himself, Jesus Christ. Hello, Jesus. Thank you for joining us on the show.
Hello. How art thou? Nah, I don't really talk like that, man. Thanks for having me on, Doctor. I'm kind of surprised, though. You had that cherry-picking the Bible show. Didn't make me look too good, bro. But, you know.
You didn't make yourself look good.
Whatever. It's cool. I don't care.
I've got to admit, you're a surprisingly chill dude. I didn't expect that.
Hey, man, I'm the Prince of Peace. What do you expect, you know? New Testament Jesus. It's all about love and understanding and acceptance.
The Old Testament is not a very loving book.
Yeah, man. Well, all that fire and brimstone stuff, that's my dad's thing. I kind of had to take over the kingdom. He was getting a little crazy and out of control, you know what I mean?
Well, it's good Christianity is moving forward. Sorry I got sidetracked. That's not today's topic anyway. We're here to talk about your views on Donald and Hillary.
Alright, cool. So, I got a list of 6 reasons you should vote for Trump.
Oh shit, here we go.
Hear me out, man. You may not believe in Christianity, but you do have some core New Testament values. Alright, so why you should vote for Trump. Number 1, you should vote for Trump if you are a racist. I'm not racist myself. Heck, I'm Middle Eastern. If I showed up looking like I did 2,000 years ago, Trump would want to keep me out of the country. Number 2 reason you should vote for Trump, if you are a misogynist. Trump doesn't respect women, so if you think men are superior and women are objects, He's your man. I mean, the ingredients to make a woman is man rib, right? Am I right?
That's really messed up, Jesus.
Yeah, well, I don't really think men are better. That's more my dad's thing. Trump takes it to a whole new level, though. I mean, you really should treat women kindly and respectfully. You should treat everybody kindly and respectfully. Doesn't matter if they're a man or a woman. Men and women are equal in my eyes.
Sure, change the story after I call you out on it. The New Testament does make it look like you think men are a bit superior. I mean, it's not downright mean like your dad's book, but still.
Okay, so look, Paul and a couple other guys just put that anti-woman stuff in there. They were angry that I was chilling on a cloud while I was making them write my book. So, Alright, so number 3, you should vote for Trump if you want to test your survival skills. If you're the outdoors type, then getting nuked in World War III might sound like a fun idea to you. Number 4, you hate freedom of speech. Trump wants to censor the press, after all, and who knows where he'll stop. Alrighty, nugget number 5. You think having the stupidest president in history would be entertaining. And last, number 6, you live in a basket. Nah, just kidding. I had to put that last one in there just for fun. I'm funny Jesus today. Alright, so in case it wasn't really obvious, that was a sarcastic list. Now, let's get serious about the candidates for a second.
So I'm guessing by that list you're for Hillary then?
I didn't say that.
So independent.
Unfortunately, things are too dire to vote independent right now, you know what I mean? So let's dissect whether Hillary or Donald would be the lesser of two evils. Alright, so neither candidate exactly embodies what the New Testament Christian should be. Let's use guns for example. When I was on Earth, did you see me going around with weapons, even in self-defense? No. Love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, and pray for those who treat you badly. Man, that one's clear, right? Picture me with a gun shooting somebody in self-defense.
Jesus is back.
Do you feel lucky? Well, do ya, punk?
Oh, shit, you better not take my stuff or I'm gonna shoot you!
Go ahead, make my day.
Bitch! I'm gonna pop a cap in your ass. I'm gonna blow your brains out! Y'all better get yourselves a gun. Don't know if the end of the world gonna come. Can't shoot nobody with no diploma. There's a reason it looks wrong to see me with a gun. 'Cause I wasn't violent, man.
Oh, I was.
Go away, Dad. We're talking about my morals. It's about the New Testament now. Nobody reads your book anymore.
Don't talk back to me, son. You know how I feel about disobedient children.
Can't kill me, Dad. I died 2,000 years ago.
Alright, I'll leave you alone. Tell your friend he's going to hell.
Okay. You're going to hell, Doctor.
I'm not really worried about that.
I didn't think so. Anyway, I'm also sick of party members lying about each other. For instance, I'll use guns as an example again. Contrary to what the Republicans say, both parties are okay with guns. Man, the Republicans lie to themselves and say that the liberals are trying to take their guns away. But what the libs are actually doing is trying to ensure that only the safe, responsible citizens can obtain guns by doing things like closing the gun show loophole and stricter background checks that limit access to guns of criminals and the mentally unstable. The only possible reason you could be against measures like that is if you are a dangerous, mentally unstable criminal. On the subject of guns, Republicans are fear-mongering and lying about Democrats' motives in order to get votes. Bearing false witness is not cool, man. If you insist on having guns, the least you could do is make it more difficult for dangerous people to get them. Look, if you're a law-abiding citizen, you would have no problem with gun measures like this. If you honestly think they're trying to take your guns away, then you are stupid and paranoid and irrational and you shouldn't own a gun anyway. Lying is a big problem with both parties. Y'all need to stop the mudflinging, man. It's so bad that both parties don't realize they agree sometimes. The biggest topic they agree on is jobs. Both parties agree that we need to create more jobs and want them available for everyone. If one party comes up with a good plan, the other party dismisses it simply because the opposite party suggested it. Oh my dad!
So, what are your thoughts specifically on Clinton and Trump? Let's get to the point.
I'm getting to that. Patience is a virtue, Doc, you silly heathen. I just need to finish what I was saying for clarity's sake. People are always misinterpreting my words, because, well, they weren't always clear in the New Testament, and sometimes they contradicted each other. But I guess that's what I get for having other people write my book a few decades after I was already crucified. Should have done it myself. But in my defense, I was busy getting stoned with rocks. Anyway, as I was saying, if Democrats, for example, come up with a program that, helps people who are out of work, they get called socialists. Republicans ignore the fact that you do need programs that help people survive until jobs become available. Clothe and feed the hungry was very clear, man. Now, are there freeloaders in society? Yeah, but not as many as you might think. Most people are just trying to survive, and just because someone takes advantage of a program doesn't mean you should shut the program down and not make it available to those who need it. Until there's enough jobs for everyone that pay enough for them to survive, you need these programs. Unless you'd rather have more homeless people. Come on.
Oh, yeah, like calling 911 emergency service, for example. People misuse it, but we don't get rid of 911 because a few people abuse it. It's a great service. But that brings socialism and taxes to mind. What do you think about taxes and socialism, and which candidate do you think is better for these topics?
Oh, that's a big one. Can't we just smoke a joint instead?
I didn't think you'd be for weed, Jesus.
Dude, I put it all over the place. I didn't make it so you could have itchy clothes. What did you think it was for, man?
Good point.
Anyway, so according to the New Testament, what we should do about taxes and socialist programs, first I've got to kind of define socialism, since there's dozens of kinds of socialism, so it's clear what kind of socialism I'm talking about. And each party sees it differently. Most Republicans, for example, think of communist socialism when they think of that dirty little word, then accuse the Democrats of that. But that's just more mudslinging and lying. That is not true. The way Democrats, who aren't afraid to use the word socialist, see socialism is similar to what I actually taught. They often call it democratic socialism. You feed the poor and help the less fortunate. That's a good kind of socialism, bro, and I'm all for it. It's not necessarily anti-capitalism either, but I'll get back to capitalism in a second. Anyway, so socialist programs that help the less fortunate, which if you've read the New Testament, you know should exist. They tie directly into taxes, which you just asked about. To do these programs, you need taxes, which are a necessary evil. And if you are more fortunate than someone else, I clearly state in my book that you are responsible for helping the less fortunate. Clinton is more aligned with me than Trump on this issue, but she's not perfect by any means. Clinton does help the less fortunate from time to time, but it seems as if she's helping them in the way you'd help a stray puppy, rather than actually helping a fellow human, But Trump doesn't help the less fortunate at all. He also steals from charity to do things like buy 6-foot-tall paintings of himself. That's greed and vanity, man. I'm clear on those points too. So let's look at some socialist programs that use taxes that the Republicans are all for. Republicans, socialist programs you like. The police and fire department, the military, garbage trucks, the roads we drive on, education, and the list goes on and on. But socialism alone is not a good system of government. I don't ever say that if you work harder or have special skills that you shouldn't be paid more, because you should. You worked hard to get there, right? However, there's a point where income can be obscene, and it's unfair for people working full-time to not be able to afford to live. I do say the love of money is the root of all evil, and it's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to make it into heaven. Everybody knows that one. Trump wears his wealth like a badge of honor and avoids paying taxes that go to help the poor, the police, the schools, the roads we drive on, the military, and so much more. In this case, Trump is exactly the opposite of what I stand for, man. And he's totally directly in line with the devil. He's constantly bragging about how rich he is.
Speaking of being in line with the devil, there are Trump supporters who think he was chosen directly by God, and when polled, 41% of North Carolina voters thought Hillary Clinton was literally the devil. Not figuratively, they think she's literally the devil. 41%.
Oh, my dad, I heard that, man. I don't know what is wrong with the people in that state. Something in the water. Hillary Clinton is no saint, but she's far from the devil. And neither me nor my dad chose Trump.
I kinda like the guy.
Dad, I'm doing an interview, man. Wait, what?
He's about torture, wrath, sexism, Old Testament kind of guy.
Dad, nobody follows your book anymore. Remember, this is why I went down there in the first place? Your old fire and brimstone ways weren't working, Pop.
Yeah, peace and forgiveness and all that crap. Listen, I'm gonna brew some coffee. Want some?
Nah, thanks. I'm good with my wine. So where was I? Oh yeah, the North Carolina idiots. Even Utah might vote Democrat this election for the first time in over 50 years. But yeah, Trump loves him some money and brags about it. In fact, he's constantly bragging about how great he is in every way, not even close to being humble. Like the time he said he's one of the most humble people you'll ever meet. He is so full of pride and vanity without an ounce of humility, and it's all lies. He's not just like a common politician liar who tells voters what they want to hear, like Hillary. He's a compulsive liar. Since we don't have a candidate that is 100% honest, I've still got to choose one of them, and I'm gonna have to go with Hillary again. If you look at Clinton and Trump side by side in this fact check right here, you'll see that Hillary is the clear choice for honesty. Their graphs are like inverted. And you know, those are just facts. You can vote on morals and go with the lesser of the two evils, Hillary, or you can vote on facts and go with Hillary.
Oh yeah, in fact, Politico did a 5-day fact-checking analysis of Trump and Hillary Clinton and found that Trump averaged a falsehood of once every 3 minutes and 15 seconds. He even contradicted his own policies. This makes him the biggest lying presidential nominee in US history. Trump literally can't go 5 minutes without lying. So, on another topic, what's your take on immigration?
Oh yeah, so like I'm not 100% with either candidate on this one either. I mean, I didn't create the world with borders and designate certain parts of the planet to certain people. You guys did that on your own with your tribalistic us versus them mentality. Look, countries are just large tribes. They're the new tribes. Remember, you're all human, and I made Earth for all of you. Love thy neighbor as thyself. But since I have to choose one, once again, Trump is worse. When it comes to immigration, you should not mistreat or oppress a foreigner. Aside from being immoral on this issue, Trump also wants to build an expensive big wall. And this cannot be done without severely raising taxes, and I know Republicans don't like their taxes raised. He wants to do massive deportation that will also raise taxes and tear apart families. So you Republicans should be upset about this because of the hike in taxes and tearing apart families. You're both wanting lower taxes and big on families. You have children in this country who go to sleep at night in fear that Trump will become president and they'll lose their parents and end up in a foster home. Breaking apart families is about as far from my values as you can get, man. Children should not suffer. If you vote Trump, you are voting to hurt children. The foreigner residing among you must be treated as your native born. Love them as you love yourself. So, Hillary again. Her plan isn't perfect, but it's not pure evil like Trump's, you know?
Yeah, well, on a lighter note, since you know everything about everyone, what's something you can tell our viewers about Trump and Clinton that nobody knows?
Okay, so like, with Trump, he has an unusually small, brain. Sorry, that's my fault. I put like a chimpanzee brain in by mistake. I was really drunk when we made Donald, so like, small brain.
I thought you were going to say something else was small.
No. But yeah, he's got a tiny cat penis too.
Wait, did you just say Donald Trump has a cat penis?
Yeah, a cat penis. He was pretty much leftover parts, man. In fact, he wasn't even supposed to be sent down at all. I passed out after making the head, and St. Peter thought it would be funny to Frankenstein the rest of him and send him down. But yeah, so like, I've seen his ding-along ding-dong. It is so small, man.
Wait, how do you know what it looks like if you were passed out?
Duh, I'm like the creator of everything. Plus, have you read my book? I'm obsessed with what people do in their bedroom. I'm always peeking in people's windows. I like watching people get busy. But only if they do it a certain way.
Well, I'm pretty sure we just lost some viewers after that. What's something we didn't know about Hillary?
Oh, she's really a robot.
I knew it! So what are your thoughts on Muslims and terrorists?
This is a tricky topic. They're not, really my followers, but like I always say, judge not lest ye be judged. And the bottom line is this. Most Muslims, like most Christians and most people, are good people. The terrorists are an extremely small extremist group. But you may say, minority Christian extremist groups in America are not killing people. That's true, but technically speaking, more murders in America are committed by Christians than members of like ISIS and other Muslim extremist groups. But you can't judge a whole group of people based on a very small minority. What if like all Christians were compared to Hitler? You may argue that he wasn't a real Christian, but he claimed to be one repeatedly. Most Muslims claim that the terrorists are not real Muslims, so there you go.
I have a Muslim friend, which may seem really strange since I don't actually believe in God.
Hello, you're talking to me right now like you just heard my dad. How can you not believe?
Maybe I'm hallucinating. Anyway, as I was saying, her and her family are some of the nicest people I've ever met. They're not trying to hurt me in any way. In their eyes, being atheist is far worse than being a Christian.
But we shouldn't ignore that the attacks are being done by people of Islam and that it is religiously based on their beliefs. But deporting Muslims and keeping them out doesn't solve the problem. What you need is the help of the Muslim community to point out potential terrorists, and this has happened. Islam is actually your best tool in stopping Islamic terrorist extremists. Now, on this issue, I reluctantly say I'm with Hillary, right? Because, Trump at least calls it what it is, whereas Clinton avoids the word Islam and Muslim when talking about terrorists, but Trump is lumping an entire group based on less than 1 in a million of their followers' actions.
Well, how about foreign relations? Who is the better candidate?
Well, that sort of goes back to what I said about, creating the earth without borders. So the question is, who would be better at getting the world to unite? In this case, it's clearly Clinton. No contest. Trump sins left and right on this topic. We need someone who can communicate at higher than a 4-year-old level. We need someone calm, not someone like Trump who is forever stuck in his terrible twos. He's downright dangerous, man. He's impulsive, loud, angry, lewd, obnoxious. A soft answer turneth away wrath. Yet grievous words stir up anger. He's constantly name-calling and coming unhinged. The tongue of the wise useth knowledge aright, but the mouth of the fools poureth out foolishness. He's about as far from wise as you can get, and it's just constantly spewing foolishness. So yeah, on the topic of bringing the world together, he'd do the polar opposite. You'd be very lucky if he didn't get you bombed. Clinton has experience in exactly this. This is another reason your party system is so stupid. A good majority of Trump supporters are only voting for him because he's a Republican.
So, do you think Trump would have any supporters if Clinton and Trump were unaffiliated with the party? So, Republicans and Democrats had no party to choose from. Do you think Trump would have any supporters?
Oh, definitely, but not many. Every intelligent Republican would vote for Clinton. But Trump would keep all the racists and bigots and chauvinists.
Yeah, if you're not a racist and you support Trump, you really should ask yourself, why does my candidate have a monopoly on racist voters in America? Anyway, moving on, Republicans claim that they are the party of God. Are they?
Oh, no, but neither are the Democrats. I agree with what you said about the party system being a problem. Both parties have some pros and cons, but they don't listen to each other. If one party comes up with a great plan, the other party will generally deny it's a good plan simply because the opposite party came up with it.
Yeah, there's even been studies that showed this. So I have to ask, what do you think about Trump's comments to Billy Bush in that infamous bus conversation when Trump talked about grabbing women by the...
I did not put handles on vaginas because you're not supposed to grab people by them. I didn't think that would ever have to be explained, man. And in case it's not obvious, for future reference, the penis is a handle.
I think we may have just lost more viewers.
Person who can't take a joke is no fun to be around. Besides, I've watched you at night. I know you use it as a handle.
That's really creepy, Jesus. That's creepy. So, do you think Trump is really Christian, as he claims to be? He once said, "I'm not sure I've ever asked God's forgiveness. When I go to church, I drink my little wine and have my little cracker. I guess that's a form of forgiveness."
Christian? No. He couldn't even say the name of a common book in the Bible when he poorly quoted it. And he's actually not lying for once when he said he's never asked me for forgiveness. And he obviously knows nothing about communion other than what he's seen on TV. My little wine and cracker? Seriously? He's definitely not Christian, man. He's a sociopath with the intellect of a chimp.
So, Jesus, could you please summarize the best and worst possible outcomes for each candidate if they were to become president?
Yeah, sure, why not? Since I can see the future, but also grant you free will, we have a couple possible outcomes. The choice is up to the American people. Worst case scenario with Clinton, things stay the same and there's no progress. Nothing gets better or worse. Best case scenario with Hillbot, she follows through with what she promised. Best case scenario with Trump is worse than the worst case scenario with Clinton, man. Best case, the country falls into a bigger deficit, and other countries hate us even more every day. Worst case scenario? Well, you don't actually have to worry about the worst case scenario. You won't be alive to witness it, man. I'm begging you, bro, do not vote Trump. Don't get us blown up before the second coming is scheduled, man.
Well, that's all the questions I have. Thank you so much for joining us on the show, Jesus. I really appreciate it. I thought we might end up debating, but I'm glad we didn't. I'm quite surprised how much we actually see eye to eye.
You are very welcome, Dockeroni. Go to church on Sunday.
Not gonna happen. Thank you for watching. Be a heathen and subscribe. This is Dr. Magnifishit signing off.
Hi, my name's Scott Newton. I'm the one who butchered Jesus today. I have my own channel. It's called Mr. Newton's Neighborhood. It's about skepticism, scientific critical thinking. I basically debunk bullshit. It's a fun channel. Check it out.
An elitist robot. Woo!